I was too mad. I did like this whole thing and it became 2 hours long on this football thing. And the thing is that in sports, they are not telling the whole truth about everything. Oh, yes, they certainly got touched. They certainly did. But they were also the bullies and enabled a environment that was a living nightmare for us growing up. And they still do today. And they're the most violent out here and they continually get in trouble and they try to blame it on everything else in the kitchen sink. Okay, so men from here like to go to Spain and rape the little girls over there as well. Okay, so American men have been going all over the country raping kids everywhere. Just because they made it legal in a country does not mean that it is a morally sound thing to do. But men have been doing this forever and they've been rapists all over the place. They've been promoting it. I just want to say I did a little thing on the Instagram about this topic on the football thing, but I've been talking about it. They're going to come out and present themselves as victims first, and then they're perpetrators after the fact. Okay, so what would happen is they would go in school, they would rape each other, they would get their whole thing was, oh, the more people that we rape, the cooler we are, and the more manly we are. And so you see this like weird dynamic where it's like girls need to be virginal, and the more men that rape all these women, and the dads were setting it up for them to get raped as well. And so it was indoctrinated into females to go service men. That was taught through the church. Okay, I actually getting pissed off about this topic, okay? I just want to say this. I'm totally spot on. I don't feel that I'm any part wrong. It's been decades. I've been looking at this. I've been going through stuff and so I could tell you already right now, they're all going to start coming out going, I got touched, I'm a victim, and all this. But then trying to sit there and be an R. Kelly about it. It's like R. Kelly said he got touched, but then he turned into a perpetrator. These are the men that turned into perpetrators because it was enabled for men to go rape us. Okay, and be raped. Okay, so that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. There is a formula to this thing. I know what it is. I know where it came from. And they do not talk about it in the topic of racism because racism isn't the thing that caused everybody to be a rapist. It just isn't. It came out of being a rapist. You have to be a rapist first before you start in with some bullshit like that. That's just a fact. And that didn't come from, oh, people of color. It came from how men view women and themselves in the world. Okay, so I found out something. I realized it and it was like, duh, it was like in my face. I was talking about a friend of mine and how half her family members were rapists. They're they one of them is on the sex offender registry. The other one didn't get arrested, who should have been one of the most busted up in here. Okay, so this whole family line, right? And I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, how weird, because her mom's so nice, and this and that, and this and that. Well, without naming, going into this whole thing, because she might get pissed off about it. I don't know. Or she should learn something from this. I had a problem with a situation as a kid with some conduct that my friends were doing, right? And technically, it's not really a religious thing. It just has to do with kids shouldn't be forced into sex or anything else. And they didn't tell kids that that was rape, right? Okay. There was another situation that happened between me and her as kids where, you guys are trying to get a boyfriend, and there was this like little, like, I don't know. She liked this guy, and he's really ugly. I don't even know what the hell the deal is with this story. But the guy ended up being a perpetrator. And everybody okayed the conduct that he did to me. It was non-consensual and all this crap. Okay, so this is like 8th grade, okay? And this was like, this like really short-lived thing, and the guy was gross, and he should have never did touch me or anything like that. And I don't know if she was really mad about it. It was a stupid situation, but she should feel happy that she wasn't the victim to that thing. Okay, she was a victim to another guy. And okay, so I know everything about that story, but I just wasn't thinking about it. You have to you have to stew on this stuff like quite a long time. Her mom didn't do anything. My dad enabled that situation as well, and he didn't do anything. He helped her with something. But nobody arrested the guy. To my knowledge, that guy didn't get arrested for being a rapist and also an abuser. So one of the things was he was like abusing her, but there was a whole bunch of guys here that were already domestic violence in school, in junior high and in high school. They were already beating up the girls. They were already doing this stuff, okay? And I even have a picture of her with a black eye. And I believe it was from that guy. And I've always had this picture. And then I remember the other stuff that happened with this situation. But at no time did anybody go, wow, that guy's a rapist. We're going to go get him arrested. We're going to go get him in more trouble because of this other thing. And we have total proof that he did this stuff. The mom and I, there's a thing here that I don't want to get into because, it's, let somebody else talk about it. But, yes, so it was strangely enabled, and I don't know why it was enabled. Like the mom was trying to be protective of her, but she did not get him arrested. So in her mind, it starts to make sense. In her mind, she doesn't see any wrong with this. So when all the other adults were coming at us, it was just like whatever, whatever, whatever. And another adult preyed on her. And it was so weird talking to her in the recent years because you would think like she would say something about that. She's like, I was mad because that guy tried to get a date with me and then he did that. He raped me. Like, there's some like lack of emotion there with her talking about that. Not that she doesn't believe it or anything because they were there. People were looking for me and I would have never been that's just not my character and they know that. But her focus is that other thing. And then she doesn't see a wrong with an adult man preying on her. And I had to think about this. I go, oh yeah, that's right. They didn't arrest the other guy, because he was I think he was 16 or something, but he was already a rapist. He's a teenager, and they've been promoting kids raping each other. So this was a problem in school. That's why I was talking about like the football thing. Now, I don't know if he's a football guy, but the other one's totally, yeah. They were out raping all the girls, getting them drunk, doing that, running around school, talking about it, grabbing girls, doing, every horrible thing you could think of. Those are the guys that are coming out right now. And they're like, oh, I actually got touched. Yeah. But that's not an excuse for your behavior in school. And you already a sociopath before 15, okay? Before you even got into the high school football, you were already that way before the junior high football. You were that way throughout from first grade that I recall all the way going into junior high. And they were really starting to peak actually in sixth grade. There was a bunch of football guys, pre-football guys in the sixth grade class that were atrocious. And it was the entire class. So having a bunch of people believe in a thing, being the mob bully, doesn't make you right. And it doesn't make you moral, and it doesn't make you a good person. That's what happened. So let's be truthful about it. When they come out, you need to ask the other guys, now how many times did this guy touch you guys? Did he rape any other girls in the class? Did you guys touch each other? That's what's happening. It's just like they're coming out kind of doing, it's like a thing to kind of cover for their conduct that was so bad. It's at every school. Like I literally started doing massive research on this topic right there and the culture around the mainly football, but yeah, it was in all sports mainly. And they didn't allow women to play football then. So it was already dominated by male subs. And then, black men got to play. So it had nothing to do with your skin color, right? You got to play. Women didn't. So, yeah, there was a lot to that. And I go, yeah, no, they all have that problem. All of them, yeah. They blame me for sitting there getting raped. I mean, what the hell? I was like, no, you have that problem. And what is that called? It's called slavery. Yeah, taking away agency, right? Slavery. So the slavery of women has been okayed with these black men. Absolutely. That's the part they're like, oh, this is totally cool. We're going to run with this. Because, male supremacy is perfect. We like that portion of everything, that whole thing that stemmed off like racism to begin with. Okay, so another problem I had on another story is these women acting clueless and dumb about why some nice guy can be this way. Well, if you understand male supremacy, you would know that it wouldn't matter if they're nice or not. So I could sit there and talk to somebody, and within about a minute or so, I could tell right away they're a monster inside. And there was somebody that I met, well, I worked with like a long time ago. I was talking about, I go, God, they're so sweet. They're so nice, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. So this person, one day I went researching on stuff and no, I was not specifically looking. I don't believe I was specifically looking for them. Or if I was looking for them, it had to do with I was trying to find some other thing about them, but not that. And then I found him spewing some vile anti female speech. And I go, wow, okay, so we have a monster right here. Uh huh. Yeah, he was calling women feminazis. I go, wow, he's spewing out some Rush Limbaugh shit. You would never think that guy. No. So I was like, yeah, right there. I would beware of that. The minute you hear that shit, yeah, but basically what they're saying is, we don't believe that you should have agency. Therefore, I'm capable of raping you. I don't have any regard or respect for you as a human being. I don't believe that you should have the same rights that I, white man, do. And then his girlfriend gets murdered, right? So, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I actually found this and a while ago, and I was like, all of them, all men, all men. It was not just a few guys. Just because it didn't happen to you from the guys that you think are so nice and nothing happened. If you hear them talking in that way, that's what that means. And they have a potential of being hella violent and raping. Yes, because you cannot hold that view and then not be that way. I don't believe that women should have rights. The only people that were saying that are male supremacists, right? Feminazi? My brother's capable of that. My dad's capable of that. See, my dad didn't do something for my friend there. They did something else. They did something else that pissed off her mom, and I totally agree with her mom being mad. Why is my dad getting involved in anything like that anyway? It's so freaking weird. And he kept helping her out, and he wouldn't let me drive the car, but he let her borrow the car. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Why is my dad doing that for somebody else's kid? Well, he's doing it to be spiteful, and I hope it's not for any other reason. Like, I was questioning, I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, if some bullshit go on between those two, then, I mean, she should say something. No, but me and her mom were upset about it because I was like, well, first of all, I try to protect my friends. They know I'm going to be, I probably would have been judgmental on one portion of this, but the portion that matters in the story here is the fact that some guy got to rape their daughter and nobody got him arrested. And then he was physically violent. I don't know if he got arrested for the physical violence. I don't remember. I don't think so. And his name was Brian. I'm dead serious. I believe. But I just wanted to let you guys know that because I've been talking about it for a while and I was like, I was trying to figure out like, why are they this messed up? And I go, oh, duh. Because I was there the whole time. That's what I'm saying. I go, I'm analyzing the entire thing because I can literally go back to my childhood and look at the dynamics in here. Like, I can't see what's happening at home. However, that is what happened. Like, I don't think anybody did anything. He didn't get arrested for rape or anything like that. And they didn't even call it rape. And so in her mind, it's all hella warped, dude. She has like weird problems. Like, it's not a mean thing. It's like she just is emotionally not proper on things, right? It's like I get injured and somehow I don't know if she's totally getting enjoyment of it or I don't know, but she's been very uncaring. Mostly back then, okay, so I was massively bullied. I guarantee you right now, all the friends that I had literally didn't give a shit. Massively, I mean, horribly bullied. Out of all of them, I was. And a lot of times, many times away from them, like I wasn't with them and it happened. And it was happening prior to me going into the junior high. And then those same guys were there, right? So then now they're just a little older and now I'm with them and they were bullying me still. And yeah, and I went into high school. But like I said, I was like, it was 10 times worse in junior high. It was still bad in high school where you just didn't want to be in school, but it was like even way worse though in the junior high portion. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that. And I know I'm on point. I know it's going to be it probably is offensive to people, but I'm offended by people promoting rape on me. Like, what the hell? I don't care about your feelings about you being a pile of you know what. If you want to feel safe, and there's a reason why the world's this messed up, because that view that I'm holding is not a popular one. If it was, then the world would be safe. It would be a hell of a lot safer to be in. And the only thing you'd have to deal with is some really off kilter people that, for other mental health reasons, from trying to stop that type of abuses and stuff, there would not be all this crime. There's massive crime. They just try to change it to be like, oh, rape is fine. We're not going to do anything about it. We're not going to do anything about child abuse. Oh, and then when we decide to, we're going to first target women all to hell. I cannot believe this shit. It's like the problem has been men the whole time. It's always been men. We didn't have power, and no woman would sit there and write some bullshit doctrine like that to disempower herself and give all power to men. I don't know what man on this earth doesn't think that he's an abuser. There's not a guy on this planet Earth that is not an abuser. That's the whole history. They were abusers.